Um, Going to the main event, Benavidez is favored over Yard, but Yard is a big, strong guy, man. He's a really big, strong guy. He has that experience now with like the top level guys, fought Kovalev, fought Beterbiev, gave them both really good fights. Um, is this going to be is this going to be one of those fights where it's just like, yeah, David Benavidez is in a real fight? Because normally guys that have success against him, like Caleb Plant, Andre, they're like boxers. They're like use their legs and like be like a little elusive. Yard's not doing that, bro. Yard is coming right at you. So how do you see that?
Um, First of all, David Benavidez deserves to be on the pound for pound list. David Benavidez is the best fighter I've ever coached against. He's the real deal.
Yeah.
Uh, um, so I expect him to beat Yard, but I expect this to be a tough fight. And one of the reasons why expect it to be a tough fight is sometimes the remnants of your last fight carries over. Benavidez took some punishment versus Morrell.
Mm.
He was hurt a couple of times. If you watch that fight real good, Morrell took a couple of dirty shots after the bell, but he also hurt David a couple of times with a couple of little right hooks in there. David's face was a little bit distorted a little bit. So he took some tough shots. So I always like to see how a fighter looks after he takes a tough fight like that. Because um just because you won, that doesn't mean you don't take that doesn't erase the punishment that you took. And Morrell took a lot of punishment versus David Benavidez, and we've seen the remnants of that, and he got knocked down, and you know what I mean. So sometimes it's not just the fight; it's the accumulation of the fights. That was a hard fight for Benavidez. You know what I mean? Not so much as in terms of who was winning the rounds, because you could see he was winning the rounds, but Morrell is a big, strong, athletic guy with hard bones, and he hurt David a couple of times. So I want to kind of see how David looks after being in a tough fight like that. Because we saw Morrell. Morrell struggled a little bit and he was hurt bad. You know what I mean? That's a real thing that people kind of like look over and just think that you get a fresh new start after every fight. It don't work that way. The human body don't work that way. So
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how David looks. But right now, I think that a guy who sits in the pocket with him like that with fast hands, I think he might have some success early. Yard, but Yard has those big bulky muscles, and he just don't have a natural stamina or endurance to deal with a guy like David, who got supple long distance muscles. And David, man, is a mean, you know what? He got fighting spirit. You know what I mean? So if I'm gonna talk about Morrell hurting him, I gotta talk about the fact that every time he was buzzed, he came back like a savage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was meaner than Morrell was while he was being hurt. You know what I mean? That's also a real thing.
Yeah.
Um, so he was thumping that fight. You know what I mean? When Morrell would hit him with a big shot, he was digging in and he was cracking. You know what I mean? He never let Morrell get any momentum. He never let Morrell like think that he could do anything past a single shot that he was slightly buzzed. Um, David Benavidez is number one in boxing to me in terms of fighting spirit.
Mm.
Him and Inoue are like when they get hurt, they like 1A and 1B. Like them dudes turn meaner than what they already are. So with a guy like Yard, who's a solid fighter, but he just fades. I don't think there's anything he could do about the fade versus an elite opponent. It's like he's a big muscular guy. He's built like a running back. He's built like a sprinter. So I don't know if it's anything he can do, you know what I mean, besides get on PEDs. And I'm not trying to be funny to
Yeah.
deal with the fact that he's gonna get so tired. Those big bulky muscles wear you down. And he's a he has an extraordinary amount of muscles for a 175-pound man. He's really bulked up.
Yeah.
So I think that it'll be tight. And at some point, David Benavidez will just start pulling away and just start chopping on him. He's too mean and nasty, you know what I mean, for a guy that fades like that. You know what I mean? It's like it's gonna be tough to deal with. Just even if he's not the biggest puncher at 175, all punches hurt. And that volume of those shots to the head and the body constantly, or because he don't stop. You know what I mean? He got like even if he looks a little tired, he don't stop. And that breaks a person's spirit. And I seen Yard, kind of the fatigue get the better of him against Kovalev and Beterbiev, and Benavidez sets a higher pace than they do, even though he may not be the puncher that they are.
Yeah,
So I think that Benavidez should probably win this fight in the second half of the fight. If it's not a stoppage, it'll be a clear enough decision where he'll be taking a lot of the rounds. But early, I expect Yarde to give him all he wants and then some.
got it. Looking forward to that November card, man. That shit is gonna be crazy. But appreciate you taking the time, man. Know you got a lot of things to do today, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you a lot.
You got it.
My man.